Hey, Jessica, thanks for joining us today from the Burlington SPCA. We're really excited to have this conversation. And if you could just start out, maybe just tell us sort of, who you are and sort of what your role is at the Burlington SPCA and that sort of thing. It'd be great.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, John. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I am the marketing and events coordinator at the Burlington SPCA. My role so far has been being partially in charge of the Wiggle Waggle Walk Your Way, which of course is our largest fundraiser of the year, and it's run as a community event. Unfortunately, we had to go online this year just due to COVID-19. So it was year 2 of running it as a virtual event, which meant we needed to put a lot of marketing behind it. So that was where my first encounter with BarterPay started. I was calling Leslie and saying, hey, we need roll-up vinyl banners done. We need posters done. We need lawn signs, all of these bits and pieces for our out-of-home marketing piece to support the virtual event. And Leslie was totally fantastic in that regard. So BarterPay has really been a blessing to us. And to me specifically, thus far, we really wouldn't have had the turnout or the embracing of our event without BarterPay and without the promotional items we were able to purchase through you guys. So really a large credit of the success of our Wiggle Waggle event specifically, just as kind of a small initiative. A lot of it is due in part to you guys and your contribution to that. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's so amazing to hear that story. And this is our why, right, at BarterPay. It's great that we help businesses and help them barter and save money and boost their bottom line, but we're really so honored and grateful and blessed to be able to teach them to actually take some of those newly earned barter credits and actually donate them to our foundation for their charitable receipt. Then we can distribute those funds and that value to amazing charities like the Burlington SPCA, who can then, like you just mentioned, go and use them to offset actually administrative and overhead costs. And a lot of times donors don't like to donate their dollars towards the admin and overhead costs. They like their dollars to go to the end cause. We all know, as an organization like yours and any charitable organization, without the admin and overhead, the organization doesn't move forward anyway. So it's all kind of the same piggy bank. You touched on a couple things there. Number one, your barter coach. We really want to zero in on that as one of the things we want to talk about. Leslie, how important is that relationship? I know that nonprofits are typically really stretched in their mean teams, and they're always doing so many things and wearing so many hats. How important is it to have Leslie McNichol as your coach and sort of be the liaison in your whole, almost like an extension of your team, I guess it would be, right?
For sure. Leslie is a completely invaluable member of our team, and I don't say that lightly. She has definitely become a member of our team in every aspect. Just from a time standpoint, Leslie has been incredible. Of course, being in the nonprofit world, a lot of our time is spent going from vendor to vendor, trying to find what we know to be the best price. Of course, when you're working in a charity context, every dollar spent is incredibly important, and we need to be accountable to our donors when it comes to the money that we're spending. So if people make donations and then we turn around and we're spending a large portion of those donations on marketing and promotional items, that's not why we're here. Of course, we're here for pretty well every dollar to go back to the animals that are in our care, who are seeking life-saving medical care and ultimately new families and happy endings. So just from a time perspective, Leslie has saved us so much time when it comes to going from vendor to vendor and finding the best price. And additionally, Leslie's relationship with the vendors is completely wonderful. Whenever we say that we need a particular item, she knows exactly which vendor she can contact. She has a good understanding of their track record and the type of quality of work that we can come to expect from them. So I know that when I go to Leslie and I'm asking for her to help us out with a project, that the vendor she's going to come back to me with is going to be perfectly suited for the work that we need done.
Amazing. I love hearing that too, because we as much as we're sort of a technology company with kind of transactional based in terms of the barter credits flowing around, we really pride ourselves in having a really tight relationship with all of our members, not just businesses, but also our charities. That human to human relationship that we can be like almost like a concierge service, an extension of your team. I love hearing that terminology. That's so fantastic. So you touched on what the Burlington SPCA does. If you can just kind of reiterate that, we'd love to grab that maybe in a little bit more detail, sort of not like a checklist off of everything, but just kind of what's the main purpose of the Burlington SPCA?
Essentially, we stand up for what's called the 5 freedoms. So it's essentially a bill of rights for animals that we help to enforce within the Hamilton and Burlington communities. So the 5 freedoms are freedom from hunger and thirst. So we provide animals with, of course, nutritious food and healthy water when they come into our care, and we ensure that those things are used to help them, maintain their health and well-being. We also provide freedom from discomfort. We also provide freedom from pain, injury, and disease. So that's where the medical care comes in as well. Also, the freedom to express normal behaviors. So cats meow and they scratch, and that's what they do. And dogs bark, that's what they do. And so it's about allowing animals to be who they are and exercise their intuition and their innate senses. And also freedom from fear and distress, of course, that's the biggest one. So that's that is in a nutshell why we exist here at the SPCA, and those are the mandates that help inform the things that we do every single day.
Okay, so one more thing to talk about. I was looking at some actual data and the numbers. I'm just looking over at this other screen here that I've got, and you mentioned some of the things that you were able to purchase through Fine Line Sign Company, tree removal services. Hamilton Vacuum Supply, I'm noticing a transaction there. TikTok Media, 2 banners. Northern LED, it sounds like you guys might have gotten some upgraded lighting that you needed.
That was huge. That was totally huge.
Yeah, in total, out of the 3.5 million or so barter credits that have flowed through our foundation from our members, our business clients, basically 20,000 so far in the last year has gone to the Hamilton Burlington SPCA and been utilized. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, that saves the Hamilton Burlington SPCA about almost 20 grand in cash. Is there a way for you to define sort of like how an extra $20,000 cash, where does that go? Like, obviously it gets redirected to the end cause, but what does that actually translate to, sort of in real reality, right?
Just for reference, now we're talking $20,000 here. I'm going to give you the little things that add up to make a huge difference. So when animals come into our care, a lot of them require vaccines. A lot of them aren't up to speed with their vaccine records. So $10 goes toward a vaccine for an animal. $25 provides heartworm treatment for a dog when they come into our care. So that can be utterly life-saving. We know the dangers of heartworm and how that can be entirely fatal for animals. So ultimately that $25 can save a dog's life, which is incredible.
Right.
$50 provides a heartworm test for a dog. Now, of course, if you give the heartworm remedy to a dog who already has heartworm, that too can be fatal. So the heartworm test is absolutely pivotal when a dog comes into our care. $15 provides a microchip, which can help an animal find their way home, which is absolutely huge for sure. Yeah. So if we take that $20,000 and we break it down into like $10 increments, $25 increments, $50 increments, then you can really see the impact that $20,000 has made. And if you consider that every vaccine given is given to a different animal, proof's in the pudding right there. You know how many animals we've helped, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
Yeah, that $20,000 went really, really far in helping provide a better, happy ending for the animals in our care. So
it's so great. It makes me so happy to have these calls. I can't wait to share our impact report with our entire audience of almost 5,000 BarterPay business members across Canada and our over 125 charities and growing. And it's stories like these that everybody wants to know about. So
I've got to say thank you. I take it that BarterPay was your brainchild, and absolutely it is such a necessary service for nonprofits. So really, I just want to express our gratitude for coming up with this idea and executing it so wonderfully and really creating this little microcosm within a community that's just out to help nonprofits. So thank you so much for your stroke of genius. And we're really excited to keep working with you as the years go by, for sure.
Awesome.